I don't want to like make you feel guilty or look like I'm bragging about how hard I worked to be here today.
Yeah.
But like I literally had to go and give my blood.
That wasn't how I was expecting that sentence to end. So Ben's giving his blood, sweat and tears into this creepy predatory relationship. But what do you think Mahogany's giving back? Well, I can tell you it's not much.
And I've never loved someone like I've loved you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to sacrifice a lot to make this work. Honestly, whatever it takes, because I've never found something this good.
Has Mahogany changed her mind about Ben? In fact, was Mahogany ever really into Ben? Well, before we get into all of that, let's just start at the beginning. On the new episode of 90 Day Diaries, we were treated to the return of what might be one of the most problematic couples in 90 Day history. You see, the pair certainly had a lot of fans side-eyeing them during their season when Ben, a 52-year-old pastor at the time, who'd recently split up with his wife after 24 years and 4 kids together, supposedly fell in love with 22-year-old Mahogany. Yeah, very creepy. And the circumstances weren't much better. Their entire season was a roller coaster that started with fears that Mahogany might be a catfish.
My first trip to Peru was full of ups and downs, mainly downs. She wasn't there, and I feared the worst, that she wasn't who she said she was. Like, I've come a long way.
Yeah, after ignoring both his friends and his kids and flying out to Peru to meet Mahogany anyway, Mahogany was 2 days late in showing up to meet Ben. That, Pastor Ben, is what some might say is karma. Karma for creepily chasing a 22-year-old across the world. Keep in mind that up until that point, Mahogany had also refused to have a video call with him. And what's more, it was obvious to everyone that she was heavily using filters on all of her photos. So why did it take Mahogany 2 days to finally meet up with him?
Oh my gosh.
Mahogany?
Oh.
You are real?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, Ben, she was real, but she didn't exactly look like her pictures. And she was young. You see, she'd been lying to Ben about being 24. She was actually 22. And guess what? Ben had absolutely no issues with it. He still wanted to make her his wife. That despite the fact that Mahogany is younger than his daughter. Yeah, messed up. And while on the show itself it seemed like their relationship might be over, well, it turns out that after the show ended, the pair actually got engaged.
I had fallen deeply in love with her. And then Mahogany and I got engaged. Can you tell me what just happened?
Can you look that?
There it is.
Now, Ben and Mahogany shared the news about their engagement on their YouTube channel. But ever since that big announcement, things have just gone downhill. You see, Ben got fired from his job. He's also been in trouble with the law. And in April 2023, Mahogany revealed that she almost died from an overdose. But around the same time, and we don't have the specific dates, but around that time, the pair also revealed that they'd got married. Talk about weird timing. I really hope Ben didn't take advantage of Mahogany being in a fragile state.
Mahogany and I actually just got married a few months ago. Our civil ceremony was just brilliant. I could not believe how beautiful it was.
Now, Ben reveals that while they've had their civil ceremony and they are legally married, they also plan to do a religious ceremony. Only the thing is, right now, that's not possible. You see, money is very, very tight at the moment. And it's not just money that's the issue. Apparently, Ben tells us, he also has a lot to prove to Mahogany before the ceremony happens. What kind of things are we talking about? Oh, you know, just the small things, like can he hold down a job? Can he actually support her?
Even though we're married, Mahogany still needs me to build trust with her. I know I can take care of her. We're just going through a really difficult transition.
Difficult seems to be the understatement of the century. Now, when we reunite with Ben in this episode, he's on his way to the blood bank to donate blood in order to get some money. He reveals that he's now been unemployed for 6 months. Things have got so bad that he's now at the point he has to sell his bodily fluids in order to be able to pay his bills.
I am at the blood bank. I'm gonna make some donations, and I need to make some money.
How you doing?
Good. A little lightheaded. It's all right.
This really sounds like a dire situation. Ben explains that he's got bills upon bills upon bills all stacking up. He's just doing whatever he needs to in order to be able to pay them off. But with that in mind, you know what wouldn't be a good idea right now? Perhaps a trip to Peru to visit his wife. I mean, considering how tight things are back home, I would think this isn't the right time for that visit.
Things are extremely tight right now, and I'm doing everything I can just to pay the bills and to pay for my next trip to Peru.
Ben, mate, maybe halt those plans and focus on getting a job first. Ben explains that he hasn't got the money needed to start the K1 visa process in order to bring Mahogany over to the States. And so, as a result, they've been separated for over 3 months. But, given that he's said he's been unemployed for 6 months, if my math is correct, that means this will be his second international trip whilst being completely jobless. That's not exactly the most rational behaviour, but I guess we're used to that from Ben by now.
In just literally 2 days, I'm going to be in Lima. So this was a good idea. Desperate men do desperate things.
Desperate seems like a pretty accurate word to describe Ben. He's always chased after Mahogany like a lost puppy, which is 10 times creepier and 10 times sadder when you factor in their age difference. But, like clockwork, 2 days later and Ben is on a plane to Peru. He makes plans to meet his wife in a park, and after a few nervy moments wondering why Mahogany isn't there yet, they finally get to reunite.
I'm Mahogany, I'm 23 and I'm from Lima, Peru.
I hate to nitpick, but why are they meeting in a park when they're married? Doesn't Ben have luggage? Why isn't he staying at her place? Like, why not just meet at her apartment? And also, while we're at it, who is that lady? Mahogany looks so different here, she's almost unrecognisable. Now, the pair make out quite a lot as they're reuniting, although notably Mahogany makes a point of looking directly at the camera. But when we join them later on, their relationship seems to take an awkward turn.
I'm still trying to get back on my feet in America. So I had to make a decision between doing the spousal visa and helping to support you and come here.
Ben's looking a little worse for wear, isn't he? Maybe he's done one too many blood donations. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say I think he's made the wrong choice. Like, if the long-term plan is to get Mahogany to the States to start a new life together, then maybe that visa should have taken priority over whatever this trip is. But you get the impression he's probably thinking more with his little head than his big one.
My priority is to get the marriage visa filed and to get that ball rolling. It's just going to be a few more weeks. It makes me look really irresponsible, but, you know, life is full of emergencies.
Sorry, but it's obviously not his priority. If it was, he would have used the money he's just spent on this trip on the K1 visa. Even Mahogany can see that. She tells him to stop messing about and just do it. In fact, curiously, she actually tells him if he doesn't prove his interest in her by getting her a visa, she might lose interest in him.
Just do it and show me, because if you don't show me interest, everybody lost interest, right?
You can clearly see that Ben really didn't like that threat. That was as clear a message as can be from Mahogany that if you don't get me a green card, I'm dumping your ass. And given everything that Ben's had to give up in order to be here, that really cuts deep. He's upset. In fact, he tries to spell out to Mahogany exactly how tough things are for him right now.
I don't want to make you feel guilty or look like I'm bragging about how hard I worked to be here today.
Yeah.
But Like, I literally had to go and give my blood. Like, I was trying to earn money.
Mahogany's reaction here makes me think that this isn't the first time that Ben's brought this up, but it really isn't something to brag about. Like, you really get the sense here watching this that Ben is 1,000 times more invested in this relationship than Mahogany is.
Desperate men do desperate things.
By his own admission, he's desperate, remember? But to make matters even worse, Mahogany seems to be toying with the idea of not even being with Ben.
And if I change my mind?
To marry me?
Yeah.
I would be heartbroken. But I have found something real with you.
Do I need to remind Mahogany that she's already married? The civil ceremony has already happened. In the eyes of the law, you guys are already married. Sorry, but the damage is already done. But you get the sense that she's regretting it. From the way that she's reacting to Ben's affection, maybe she's losing hope that she'll ever get to the States. And maybe she's seeing how weird this man double her age really is.
And I've never loved someone like I've loved you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to sacrifice a lot to make this work. Honestly, whatever it takes, because I've never found something this good.
Yikes, Mahogany is giving Ben nothing. Just imagine if you were to say, I've never loved someone like I love you, only to get a back. Like, wow. I really find it hard to believe that Ben has never found something this good when this is the standard of good. He's clearly living in La La Land. Now, the interesting thing is, he seems to hit the nail on the head as to why she's being distant, but he also manages to miss the point completely.
I'm sure she's still thinking, I'm young, I've got my whole life ahead of me. I'm hoping that as we bond and build trust, that she commits more and more and more.
Exactly, Ben. She's young. She has her whole life ahead of her. So come on, wake up. Why on earth do you think she really wants to be with you? Sorry, mate, it's definitely not your body. That seems to have gone. It's so obvious that she's only here for the green card that it's almost funny. So how long are these two gonna look at the camera and pretend that they're in love? Albeit she's not pretending all that hard.